Hi and welcome back to My Mature Student Life. Today we're going to be talking about presentations, and I said we were going to do that yesterday, didn't I, on Instagram. Really looking forward to this one because presentations is something that I absolutely love. I have been doing it for such a long time. I started doing presentations at the age of 17. I was trained in it and I've done it in pretty much every job that I've ever done, including speaking to children, young people, festivals, training people, training senior leadership teams, speaking in front of hundreds of people, and speaking in front of small groups as well. And I'm also an academic, so I have to deliver presentations as part of my degree, and I am very much on track for a strong first, and presentations I consistently get a strong first in that. So no worries there really in terms of who I am and whether it's right for me to speak about this. You don't have to listen. Of course you don't. But you're here, so I just wanted to say I feel pretty confident speaking to you about it, and I think I'm all right at it. But you'll probably tell me otherwise. I don't know. Anyway, so we're going to be talking about do's and don'ts today, and my 3 golden rules. So my 3 golden rules are: know your material inside out, plan your material meticulously, within that making it fun, making it engaging, and the third one is to practice, practice, practice. So over the next couple of minutes we're going to be talking about them. I'm going to break them down a little bit, give you some little hints and hacks on how to do that. The purpose of this presentation today, though, to you is for people who are academic. You might be in your career, you might be going for a job interview, but it's really for people who hate presentations. I don't understand why you would hate presentations because I love them, but just to give you some real guidance on how do you overcome that? How do you get to the point where you actually really enjoy them, because they are really good, and as an academic it's a really good way of getting easy marks as well. And it's part of the world now. You have to present, the higher up you go in terms of your career, it's always going to include a presentation. As soon as you get up to X amount of money, it's gonna be there. You can't get away from it. So hopefully when you listen to this, you'll go, oh, do you know what? I follow that, and that'll be fine. I can do that. So I hope that's how you feel at the end of it anyway. So switch forward if you want. So the video is going to be broken up into 3 parts. So that's the end of part 1. That's the end of the introduction. By the way, I'm keeping this video really, really raw because I want you to see some of the processes that I go through as well when I'm speaking out a presentation. Okay, see you shortly. Hi guys, welcome to the next section. So this section is all about preparing and really, really knowing your material. That is the first key in delivering an excellent presentation. So before, I've talked about this before, I know I have, with My Mature Student Life. So when you get your subject matter, so it might be a pitch, it might be your brief from your tutor, or whatever it is, your interview brief, you get that and you absorb it, you understand what it is you're required, and then you start doing your research. So you don't start thinking about what you're going to do, you just do the research, and you get yourself to a point where you become an absolute expert in that. You might not be an expert in it, but you can do little things that will make the audience believe that you're an expert in something. And part of the battle in presenting is you believing you're an expert, but making others believe you're an expert as well. Because if you can win your audience over, then you've done your job. And if you can do that within the first 30 seconds to a minute, you're on to a winner. So there are little things that you can do. So like I said, you need to know your subject, absolutely, because guarantee there'll be somebody in the audience who's going to ask you questions about something you don't know. And if you don't know, you don't know, but you try and know it. And the way to make your audience believe that you know much more than you do is putting little anecdotes in there as well. So I'll give you a really good example. I delivered a presentation a couple of days ago on project management. I'm not a project manager, I'm studying business. I delivered it on Prince2 and Agile, 2 methodologies that are quite complex. They're massive. Project management is a huge, huge subject. But I threw little anecdotes in there that I think made the tutors believe that I knew all about this subject. So one example was that I knew about Agile, that it was developed in a ski lodge by a group of guys that were just on holiday basically, and they had an IT problem that they needed to overcome. And it's little things like that that'll make them think, blimey, if she knows that, then she'll know everything else about that subject. And it's stories as well, throw in stories, because stories will help you engage with the audience, because audiences engage with stories. We love stories, and it'll help you remember as well. So I can learn facts and figures, but it's boring. So I will tend to use lots of stories and lots of anecdotes like that to help me illustrate facts and figures, because it's much more engaging, it's much more interesting, and it helps me remember as well, which is the most important thing. It's you that's got to remember this stuff, and you're not going to remember a list, but you'll remember interesting things about your subject. So yeah, so do your research, know it inside out, become that expert, learn your little anecdotes that are going to make things interesting for you. You need to, when you're doing your research, there'll be little bits of your research that you think, I don't really know what that means. Know it, because like I said, you guarantee that one word in that presentation is the one thing your tutor or your interviewer is going to ask you about. So never put anything in your presentation that you're not absolutely 100% with. Don't try and blag it. You need to know that subject. If you know your subject, you will enjoy your presentation. You will, because you'll be speaking about something that you have enjoyed researching and that you can speak on confidently. And that's the battle as well. The confidence will come from knowledge and from authority that you've been given by all the authors that you've read about, that you've got your information from. It's not your opinion. So-and-so says, da 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 da. Therefore, you've got authority to say that because somebody said it before. So know your stuff. There's something else I wanted to say on this. And I think that's it. I'll come back to it if there is. So that's the end of this section. The next section, like I said, is going to be on planning. So enjoy.